It is morning in Los Angeles and it's morning in America. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my morning political thought. Today's date is Monday, November the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look over at the time, make sure, because I get my dates mixed up because everything jumbles together. All right. Let me start this off by saying I'm still not at the break glass in case of emergency yet. Still not there. Actually, I'm not even close. There won't be any side news today. Everything is pretty much stuck in limbo. We already know, of course, a press conference happened over the weekend. It was in, I want to say Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. I get Arizona and Nevada mixed up because so many things are going on between the two states. But there was a press conference saying there were more irregularities found when it comes to the actual voting process and everything, people not being allowed to view the ballots and examine them and all that stuff. But we're already aware of that. So there isn't any news. They're just saying that, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and pursue legal avenues and do what we need to do on this. So it's stuck. Everything is going to be stuck. Same thing with Pennsylvania. All of the stuff, we already know what was going on with Pennsylvania when people were not allowed, poll watchers were not allowed to enter certain locations to inspect the ballots to make sure everything was on the up and up. We already know this. It's all stuck in limbo right now. Rudy Giuliani did his press conference and explained all of this. I'm going over things. Georgia obviously is going to be a recount. That's going to happen. But in regards to that, with Fulton County, they're going to have to go back through the ballots again anyway, as related to that stuff. So everything is stuck in limbo right now because the legal process can be slow at times. Now, of course, world leaders are congratulating Joe Biden. You know, there is this wonderful saying called silence is golden. And for the people who are opening their mouths right now to congratulate Joe Biden and do this and do that, yeah, that's pretty telling. Because if I was a world leader, I just wouldn't say anything. Especially if I knew the sitting president plans to contest the election. Because you don't know where it's going to land at. So don't say anything until it's certified. Don't say anything until the election is certified. Because let's say President Trump wins, which is a possibility that he will, especially in Pennsylvania and especially in Michigan. I told you guys, I do not feel like President Trump needs Pennsylvania. And I still feel that way. I still feel like with Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada, he's good. In Georgia, of course, in North Carolina, but we already know he won Georgia and North Carolina. But with Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, and Wisconsin, with those four, and then of course Georgia and North Carolina default. Alaska still hasn't been called yet, but really. So with all of that, he doesn't really need Pennsylvania. The reason that they are going after Pennsylvania the way that they are is because the fraud is more obvious in the state of Pennsylvania. It's way more obvious, which they would have a better case in the state of Pennsylvania. There are being multiple cases prepared to be brought. And I haven't seen anything yet come up on the news. Let me do a refresh right quick on my thing. I'm going to check one other thing. Give me 1 second and see. I'm going to go to just the news and see if anything comes up. Media shuns Trump claims of election interference after embracing Clinton's in 2016. And now, yeah, it's just other It's the same old, same old. I'm at Just the News, which is John Solomon's site. It's the same thing. Administrative changes in Wisconsin election put tens of thousands of votes in question. Kamala Harris moves one step closer to smashing glass ceiling at White House. Yeah, that's another thing too. For those who don't know, there was this thing on Apple's Siri, which those who follow the show know I have no Apple products whatsoever. I don't care for Apple. But there was this thing where if you ask Siri, how old is the president, that it told you how old Kamala Harris was. And now it's been fixed. But there are recordings on the internet of people asking Siri, and then how old is the president? And then it would say Kamala Harris is born, I think, October 20th, 56 years old, da 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 da. If I don't like somebody, I don't really keep up with them that much. I don't think about them. And she's one of those people. The only time I mention her is if there's actually news about her. But as for waking up every day thinking about, no, I have other things to do. So yeah. But what I'm talking about is that everything is pretty much on hold right now until the full process starts. Now, sources are saying that President Trump plans to start doing rallies again, which that should have been the game plan in the first place. He should have been preparing to do rallies because that is his best way to reach people. Now, everyone is being banned left and right and censored left and right. Speaking of banned, with Steve Bannon, The War Room. For those of you who watch The War Room, if you still want to listen to The War Room, go to warroom.org and you can listen to the podcast there, because that's how I plan to listen to it. Because out of all of the stuff that has been going on, the most informative from what I've seen from all of the sources that I've canvassed has been Steve Bannon's War Room. He's laid everything out. He's given a ton of accurate information, and I am very confident in the information that Steve Bannon gives. So, warroom.org is the website address, or you can just go to duckduckgo.com, type in Steve Bannon War Room, and then it'll bring up a link to the podcast, and then you can get to it that way, because that's how I did it. So yeah, with Steve Bannon. But as for the rally, this is what I want President Trump to do for the rally. And this is what my morning political thought is about. What I want President Trump to do for the rally, for his first rally. Because everyone will be watching, whether they want to or not. They will be watching when President Trump goes up on stage in public for the first time, because he was golfing this weekend. Which also, by the way, if he was golfing, that lets you know he's really not that bothered about the situation. And someone had always said, I believe it was Rudy Giuliani or someone else, has said that's how he's always been. Stuff doesn't bother him, because usually when the attorneys are involved, the attorneys handle it. And that's what he does. He leaves it to the attorneys. He'll have his input, and sometimes he may take advice from his attorneys. But when litigation is happening, he just continues doing his thing. He's like, psh. And President Trump has been in courts for decades on top of decades on top of decades, dealing with litigation. So this is nothing new to him. And with him being on the golf course, he's more than likely not bothered. But back to the rally. For the rally, what I would like for President Trump to do, the first thing I would like for him to say at his rally, and if President Trump, if by some miracle this show gets to you and you see this is what I would like for you to say at your rally. The first thing, I would like for you to come up to the podium, thank everyone for being kind enough to come out, and say, I have a major announcement. And then pause for a second. Give it a few seconds, let it marinate, major announcement. And then say, I have decided I will move on. Pause for a second. Again, the audience, Trump supporters, going to be like, no, no, no. Raise your hand. I have decided to move on from Twitter to Parler. Let that be the announcement. Now, when you do this rally announcement, I need for you to do it around about 2 to 3, maybe 3-ish for sure, because the market closes at 4. And I promise you, now of course, you might want to get with the people at Parler if they can keep a secret and say that you're moving your official notification account from Twitter to Parler. Will you still put stuff on Twitter from time to time? Possibly, maybe, kind of, sort of. We'll see. But your official account, that can go to Parler. And if you make that announcement and you do it in the afternoon, but right before the stock market closes, because Twitter's on the NYSE, I promise you, Twitter stock will go down while all the other stocks have been going up lately. And stocks are going up now because of the vaccine that's 90% effective from Pfizer. Yeah, okay, all right. Even though, according to sources, the virus is already mutated again, but these are minor details. Well, I digress. Check out my episode, The Vaccine is a Psychological Thing. If you make that announcement, that's going to do some damage to Twitter. Actually, that'll do a lot of damage to Twitter. I promise you. Like I said before in my previous episodes, there are ways to destroy people and things without physical or kinetic contact. There are many ways to do things. You don't have to rip somebody limb from limb. All you have to do is get the right amount of venom inside, and that's that. So that's the announcement I want President Trump to make. I want him to make an official announcement that he is moving his official notification account from Twitter to Parler, which everybody's been moving to Parler now anyway, which is why people have had issues logging in over the weekend. And some people are fed up with Facebook. Hell, I'm almost to the point I might still use Instagram, but it's to the point now where it's like you're doing extra work for somebody like me, where I upload my stuff on Facebook. If they have an algorithm in place that censors what I plan to tell people or what I say, then I'm swimming against the current. I don't own any stock in Facebook, so there isn't any say. I don't know any people who own stock in Facebook that I can say, okay, bring this up and do that. So when it comes to this situation, I wouldn't be surprised within the next few weeks or so if I'm using Facebook at all. I might still leave the page up, but I doubt when it comes to the Purple Elephant Show that I will upload to it. And also, by the way, for social media stuff, the Purple Elephant Show on Parler, the Purple Elephant Show on Instagram, even though it's owned by Facebook, I roll. Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show for the next, I guess, week or so, if that. At RealTPES on Twitter, which I'm getting close to pretty much abandoning ship on Twitter as well. If you're watching this on BitChute, love you guys on BitChute. YouTube, or Dailymotion, indifferent. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But that's what I want President Trump's first announcement to be, that he is moving his official notification account from Twitter to Parler. If he does that in the afternoon, watch the New York Stock Exchange. Watch that Twitter stock symbol. and see how it goes down, down, down. Because before President Trump, Twitter was not doing well. People didn't know how Twitter was going to make it. And with these people with TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, where they love to hate President Trump, they can't really get their fix. They have to get their fix. They're like junkies. So more than likely, those people who need to get their fix, they'll still keep their Twitter account, but they'll be on Parler. And the thing about Parler is that they're not going to censor the president of the United States, which it amazes me that a company has the authority to censor the president of the United States when it comes to speech or when it comes to opinions, because I thought opinions, everyone in the United States can have an opinion, but apparently not on Twitter, you can't have an opinion. So when it comes to that, and President Trump will be fully unleashed on Parler, that is the best move that I believe President Trump can make right now. And this would be the first start of, I guess, what the Chinese call the Long March. But in speaking of the Chinese, now they're trying to set things up with Joe Biden. And also the EU was talking about putting tariffs back on. It's amazing how when President Trump was around, the tariffs that were there stopped. They stopped putting tariffs on American products. But now that Joe Biden's about to come back into office, they're like, oh yeah, we're looking to put billions of dollars of tariffs on Boeing and all these other companies now. Strange how that works. Yeah. But some of these people voted for Joe Biden because, like I said, we all know President Trump won the election, but some people actually did vote for Joe Biden, and they're called useful idiots or low information voters. And I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm just calling it for what it is. And it was mostly because Orange Man bad or Orange Man racist, even though I don't see how anybody who voted for Joe Biden can call President Trump racist now, considering that Joe Biden gave a eulogy at the funeral of a former Klansman. But I guess Democrats are redeemable and Republicans are irredeemable. I don't know. Make it make sense. Who knows? But yeah, this is where we're at now. And I will say it will be interesting. It surely, surely will. But as for news, there really isn't any news. Everything's stuck in limbo until the litigation officially starts. And then once the courts start ruling, that's when the real news will come. And we more than likely won't see anything for a few days. And that's putting it mildly. In regards to the recounts, that's going to take a while because that's going to be ballot by ballot by ballot. And we're not talking about one state. We're talking about several states. So yeah, there are side news stories that are happening, but it's still the same old stuff. There's nothing new. It's people bringing up things about Joe Biden as president-elect and whatever else that's not really useful information, because to bring up Joe Biden as president-elect implies that Joe Biden won. And Joe Biden has not won. The election has not been certified yet. It's that simple. So that's all I have on my morning political thought. Again, thank you to everyone who's been following. If you are watching this, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to whatever channel, preferably BitChute, YouTube, kind of, Daily Motion, whatever. That's cool. And for the podcast, you can subscribe to the podcast as well. ThePurpleElephantShow.com is the main podcasting platform. Again, thank you for all the support. Love you guys. Until next time, be blessed.